Good morning, welcome to Monday Moments with Fran. I hope you are doing well. Oftentimes, when we are trying to get something done, we can encounter distractions. These can be people that perhaps will want to talk to us or take our focus off of what we're doing. They could be, it could come from ourselves, so our mind wanders, we get busy looking at other things, and it can be really, really hard to focus. And this week's encouragement is just some tips really as to how to deal with distractions, because they will come, particularly when you are really focused and you want to be making progress. They're part of life, but how do we deal with them? But before I do that, I want to say that some distractions can be really beneficial and really helpful. I'm sure you would have seen some of these, viral videos going around of children in a doctor or nurse's surgery, and they're about to have an injection, and somehow the health professional really distracts them with something, and it helps them to manage better the situation. I know for myself, even going to the dentist at times, my dentist is amazing. And he'll just be having a conversation and just really take my mind off what, normally the injection he's about to give me. So some distractions can be healthy when they allow us not to focus on something really, really negative, and it serves a purpose. But then there are other distractions that are literally sent to take us off course, to take us off track, and to waste our time. And those are the distractions that I want to really talk about today very briefly. So, first tip is, remember your time is your own, and you're not obligated to answer every phone call or respond to every message. I'm talking in a personal context. If you're at work, that's a different scenario. But when it comes to your personal life, you're not obligated. You do not have to pick up the phone if somebody rings you, because if you are in the middle of something really, really important, it is going to be a distraction. Unless it's life and death, you haven't got to be picking up the phone, left, right, and center. I think I love my phone. They're very useful, but they can be a massive distraction. I know some people who keep their phone permanently on do not disturb mode because they don't want to be disturbed. One of the things that I've done this year is turn off the buttons on my social media app icons, so it no longer will say in red the numbers of notifications I've got. That way I am at liberty to go into Instagram or Facebook at my will and at my leisure, rather than always responding to a notification. And half the time, some of these notifications are so ridiculous, it's not even worthwhile your time. So, you're not obligated to answer every phone call and take every message. When it comes to your own inner distractions, find what is one of your motivations or your driving patterns. What works for you in terms of getting a task done? I know in the past, particularly when I'm studying, or even when I've got a really important, like a project task to get done, I personally work to deadlines. I will put a calendar, I'll put a little reminder in my calendar that says, 4:00, this is the deadline. And it's my own personal deadline. And I do that to allow me to be focused. And I know for myself, I thrive better under a bit of healthy pressure. So figure out and decide for yourself what works better so that you can stay focused and get done what needs to get done. Some people work really well with accountability, telling somebody else, I'm doing this task, please help me to stay focused, please help me to stay on track, check in with me. Am I being focused? Because that is how we are going to make progress this year, how we're going to achieve all that we want to achieve, as well as what God desires us to achieve, is being focused and staying on track, okay? When it comes to things I think that we are overthinking or that we just find our minds wandering, maybe allocate some time to really take that particular area of thought. I'm not sure if that made sense. So if there's a particular thing that you're thinking about or you keep being distracted by internally, allocate time to actually think about it. So, for yourself, say, okay, well, this evening I am going to think about this thing that's been on my mind. I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to write about it. I'm going to pray about it. Because somehow when you know that you've got allocated time to think about that thing and process it, hopefully it won't distract you for what you need to do here and now. Okay. And the last tip I would say is watch particular people in your life. If they are aware that you are in a focused season, if they are aware that, you don't want to be distracted and you want to stay on track, and somehow they manage to pull you off track, somehow they manage to always interrupt you and they're not willing to respect where you're at, maybe make some tough decisions as to what you need to do in the area, or have a conversation and make it be very clear, this is where I'm at and this is what I'm doing. Because some people, we can love them, which is amazing, great, do keep loving them, but they are really sent as a distraction. And ultimately we are accountable for what our time, and we're accountable for what it is that we are doing in a particular time and season. I'm sure I've said it before, I try not to take unscheduled phone calls unless it's from really close family, because I need to stay focused. I need to stay on track. I'd much rather say, do you know what? I haven't got time today, but let's plan a time to really talk and have quality time, rather than be in a conversation and start feeling a bit frustrated because I really need to get this important thing done, or I really need to kind of be at a particular place right now. So distractions will come, but start developing some strategies for yourself to really be able to focus, to really be able to, stay on track as to what you're going to be doing. Actually, bonus tip, move out of your current environment temporarily, literally maybe for an hour or two. Sometimes when we are always in the same place, it can be quite routine and mundane, but even stepping out and perhaps working somewhere different. I used to go and sometimes work in a cafe, just work in a hotel reception. This is my studying, because it was a different environment and I could somehow focus better, and I wasn't distracted by, I'm in the house. Gosh, I need to do that laundry, which is really, really dull. But sometimes we also can procrastinate and be distracted by other things when we don't want to focus on the task in hand. So guys, stay encouraged. Don't forget to encourage somebody else. Be determined this week to make some progress and to develop and to work towards what God has for you and your heart's desire in this season. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week.